So the most important thing is that you love what you do, because if you don't, you would regret your entire life and being in a place which you just are not into.
Results. We never think of the fun we have or the experience we get. We always think of the results. And that too, like, after this, you will do this. But what about the time we have like now?
But I think that's where our generation comes in. We should be the ones to take the first step. Because if not you, then no one.
We know that the area where we live in, like, it doesn't promote other like sectors, whatever it is, jobs or whatsoever your talent is. It mainly focuses on just a few things.
What are some of the most funniest dialogues of teachers? Okay, this one's fun.
It's I don't want to name the teachers, but it's
The dialogues.
okay. It's I know better than you. आपके कोई नवाब है?
नहीं तू क्या कोई अफलातून है? That one's better, definitely.
Your graph is declining. You're nil at the bottom.
Nil at the bottom. Who is your role model?
It's obvious, Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's our role model. It must be a role model for everyone. We don't have to look for any other role model if we have a person like him.
Right? Now, we know that after 10 days, we won't be here. 10, 20 days, yeah. And then you'll never be a student of Oxford Presentation School. And you'll never get to stay at the benches and attend those lectures which you once trying to bunk. So how do you feel about that? How does the notion of leaving make you feel?
Spending 14 years at one institute, living with the people around you in the same premises, and you get attached to your students.
Great feat.
Yes, you get attached to your classmates, to the teachers, to the premises, to the management, everything. You get attached to the environment itself.
Welcome to the first podcast of Oxford Radio. I'm Sanabil Fayaz from grade 10th A, and I will be your host for today's podcast. Today I have with me Eidi Iqbal as a guest. And Eidi is a great student, a brilliant one, and she has a great passion for scientific innovations, and she has also been a part of NCSC and many other science conferences, right?
Yes.
So, last year, she was the assistant head girl of her school, and this year, she was a very strong opponent and is now my great friend. So, welcome, Eidi. So, today's podcast is about student life. So, if I were to ask you the very first thing, you've been in the school for 14 years. So, what would you describe your student life as? If I had to ask for an explanation, what would your answer be?
So, my student life has been a mixture of friendship, growth, we can say the creativeness amongst me, and all the like the molding and whatever I am today. It's because of my student life as a school student. And of course, for me, it's been a wonderful experience because spending 14 years at one institute, living with the people around you in the same premises, and you get attached to your students.
Great feat.
Yes, to get attached to your classmates, to the teachers, to the premises, to the management, everything. You get attached to the environment itself. And of course, talking about anyone else, like if we ask our parents or our elder brothers and sisters about their school life experience, they even know the slightest detail of it, because it's always the best experience an individual can have.
Yeah.
So for me, it's also a very like a beautiful experience, and which it cannot be explained actually.
Yeah. It's something
which everyone feels.
Yeah, it cannot be explained and described in words. Yeah, language falls short there. So, since you've been here for 14 years, so there will be many numerous moments which you would remember, right? So, but if I were to ask you some key moments, some core memories, some things that you'll always remember when you think about your school, what would those be?
The first thing is that our school promotes the co-curricular activities, which in itself is fun. So the first event I was a part of was the cultural dance program in grade 4, actually, which never happened, but the practices and the way I first time interacted with others, with the teachers, with the seniors, it was wonderful, truly wonderful. I can never forget that. After that, we had the NCSC program, which truly was a great game changer for me. I mean, yes, it was a game changer. And after that, the Miras Fest, of course, we've been a part of it.
How can we forget about Miras?
Yes, we cannot. I mean, it just inculcated in us the values of the Kashmiri
It was
language.
something that was so unique that you cannot forget it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember every moment of Miras.
It was soulful actually.
Yeah.
We were connected deeply with the vibe of Miras, and we had other events,
Science Festival
including
last year.
Yes, Science
How can
Festival,
we
the
forget that?
Netflix auditions,
Yes.
and then the Netflix shoot. After that, we were having this.
The most recent one,
Okay,
I guess,
it is summer camp. Okay, I mean, I cannot explain much about it, but it has been truly wonderful, truly wonderful. I mean, I cannot thank enough my school for such
Summer
a great
camp.
experience.
Yeah.
Best experience of my life.
Talking about summer camp, is there like a particular memory, a particular thing that happened that you'll remember?
Yes, I mean, whole camp was filled with different experiences and I can never forget. But the one thing is that while we were hiking and we were at the top of the mountain, so it started raining very heavily and we all were just thrashed. It was so slippery out there. We all were sliding and we were just fully covered with mud and whatever the dirt it was. But the way we helped each other to get down from this slopey mountain, I mean, it was truly difficult, but the way we helped each other and reached to our destination, obviously it was like so tiring, so thrilling, but it was helpful too. I mean, I got to know how we can help each other in the slightest thing. So being together is
Even if you fell down together, it would have been
it
more fun.
It was fun. We were falling together. Like we were sliding over the slope one after another, and it was fun. It wasn't embarrassing. It was fun.
It was fun. These were like the events that we're talking about, right? If we move forward, what are some memories that are closely associated to you or your batch or your class or your friends? Like something which if a teacher came to know, you'd get in trouble, but like some pranks.
Okay.
So is there anything like funny moments that you'd like to share?
When it was trending, putting the hand imprints on the chart paper. So our class did it. I brought the colors. It was our games period actually, so we thought to do it. But it took a violent turn actually. We just started thrashing the colors on each other's face. I mean, of course, the boys. It's always them. So they started doing it and they played as if they considered it as a holy. So they just were with their own thing, so they didn't care who the teacher is. And after that, when the teachers came to know, because we were just cleaning our faces and all that thing, so they were like, give us the chart, give us the pages, whatever you just printed, we can say
tore it apart.
Tore it apart. And we were
so all that hard work for
it.
nothing. But
the thing
fun.
is that they were like, Injila and Edie did it. We were like,
I remember that day because I saw your entire class in the ground that day.
But it wasn't our
shouted
fault.
at.
But it was still fun.
Yeah.
It was still fun.
It's just those moments that make it more worthwhile. You know?
And the recent incident, it was about the farewell because we were excited and suddenly we got a call as the PA of principal ma'am, and then she was like, you have to be volunteers and you have to be at school at 8 and you'll receive the circular by 9. After that, we just were so excited. Oh my god, we got the call, finally it's happening.
And then we're like so into.
And after some time we called them back. We were like, okay, if the circular comes, then just write our names. And they were laughing. And then today, I mean after some time we came to know that it was one of our classmates. So
pranks.
Yeah, it was a prank.
But it's still fun, you know.
Yes, it is.
You must remember it well. I remember, now just talking about it, some time ago, so not a similar incident, but something happened in our class. You know, someone got firecrackers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but they weren't the firecrackers that need flame. They were like the ones that you throw and they pop. So, and then they started popping them. And our entire class got suspended for 10 days. And to this day, no one knows who it was.
Do you know who it was?
Yes or no, like let's just not talk about that. But it's fun that no one ever like snitched. Okay, yeah, it was him, but no one said that. So I still remember it. And even now somebody asks, who was it? Like, it's confidential. So, you know, while we were talking about memories, there's one thing that struck me, which we both, our entire 10th batch would know. You know, during online classes, that one time where we were in, I think we were in 6th grade or 7th, but we had our English teacher show us a movie, Tare Zameen Par.
Yes, I
You remember that
that
time? I remember it so vividly because I did not expect that aaj hamari English class hai and we'd be watching a movie. But the best part was that we only watched half the movie, and the second part was like, you write it your own.
Yes.
So it was like, I remember thinking so hard for like 2 days, and we had a time limit to submit it on the app.
And it must be completely different from the actual story.
Like, even if you watch the entire movie, no, you make the rest of the story
on
out.
your own.
Now that I think about it, it was such a creative approach to get students into writing, into story writing, into thinking, into imagination. Because I remember that day I was there, I was like 2 hours thinking what could go, what could happen. And I even remember the story today. I read it a few days ago. I have it in my laptop, and I was shocked because story was great for a 7th grader. It was great, and the grammar, it was awful, definitely, but it was, everything came rushing back to me. That's what happened that day. And even the movie choice, Tare Zameen Par, was amazing, right?
Yes.
And I remember another thing. I was reading the stories of my friends, because we do that. We check each other's homeworks, what you have written. And every single story was completely different. And, some had added time travel. Okay. Some had added, in my case, I had added a new character. And some had added, after time travel, some had added that there was future, like they jumped into the future after the main character was a grown-up, an adult. And it was just so great.
Creative, actually.
Creative, really creative. I just remember that because I also remember that in that class, in English class, we used to
listen to the songs. Believer.
I remember Believer. That was the first time I was introduced to Hall of Fame.
Okay, yeah.
Hall of Fame. Because our teacher used to tell us that I hope that all of my students' names are in the Hall of Fame someday. Yes. It's just nice memories, nice little memories that we have. Apart from that, I'd like to ask you one more question. Is there anything that you think every single student can relate to?
Yes, there are a lot of things which are common to almost all of the students. Like when we used to be smaller, we used to distribute toffees for our birthdays. Definitely. And for the Teachers' Day.
I always used to be so sad about the fact that my birthday was in winter vacations during Jan. And I remember crying a lot because I was like, when will I give my toffees? I've never done it.
At least it was in winters. My birthday was always at the end of the middle, like term second, final terms, because it's 15 October and it was the end of the session. So I was like, मेरी ही birthday पे exam. And I used to cry a lot. But then I used to distribute toffees on the getting first position. It was a very big achievement for everyone. And the stars you get on your notebooks. Wow.
I remember once in art class, I got 3 stars, and I remember I was so happy. I showed it to everyone in my bus. So every single senior today, this day remembers that, 3 stars.
I got to moon a star. I got moon 3 stars and good. And I was like on the stars, I can say. I was in the 7th sky. I was like, okay, I did it. It was so good. So everyone could relate to it. These little joys meant so much to us. So much. Yeah. Now, even the greatest joys can't make us happy either.
As much as that did.
Yes, like that time, the slightest thing, it was beautiful.
Yeah. And is there anything else that you would remember about it?
No, there's a lot more, but we are time confined, actually. Okay, we cannot just explain everything.
So, till now, we've talked about so much about student life, about how much we've loved being here, about how much we've enjoyed here, right? Now, we know that after 10 days, we won't be here.
Okay.
20 days, and then you'll never be a student of Oxford Presentation School, and you'll never get to stay at the benches and attend those lectures which you once tried to bunk. So how do you feel about that? How does the notion of leaving make you feel?
It's like isolating. I mean, we're drifting apart, and the emotions, the things that you've attached to your school for like 14 long years, being around your people which make you feel home. Actually, it's a family which you were not born into, but you made. Yeah. And the family you feel you never wanted to end. Nobody wants it to end, but it has to end, right? And we won't be, and we know the bitter fact that we won't be able.
heart-wrenching thought is that maybe you'll never find those people again.
Exactly.
Maybe you'll never meet them again, because everyone just gets their own path, and it's just sad.
That's what I was talking about. The bitter truth is that we all know that we won't be together. Even if we will remember each other for 3 years, 4 years, then we will be busy with our lives. We won't even get time to just text like, hi, how have you been doing? So it's something that makes me feel very sad. Sometimes I cry. All of us cry most of the time.
I remember during trekking, it was in April.
Okay.
And half of our class cried at trekking. Even though we had 7-8 months left, everyone is crying. Why? Because it's the last trekking. Same with picnic. It was everything, every moment you remember, you're it's ending. It's the last time you'll be able to do this with all of these people. That's
the thing
really
we
heart-wrenching.
do in our class is after this the class ends, school ends, we say the date is 12 today, so we say on 12 October, 12 November won't be the same again. And then we all just get blank for some time. Okay, it won't be the same again.
It won't be the same again.
It won't be the same again for us. So yes, it's truly just unexplainable feeling. I cannot just explain it.
Yeah.
I would be in tears right now. So
let's just
not
change the
talk
topics
about it.
to
Yes.
pass. So since we're talking about leaving, we have our exams, our board exams, and they are much closer now from 15th Feb. So what's the exam stress? Because we all are in stress. How would you explain it? What do you feel about it?
Exam stress, all of us experience, but I feel as we move higher to the classes,
it just increases.
No, I feel it decreases because we are not confined to the marks then. We just get used to it. In class again, I used to cry for over half a mark. And now if it's 3 marks, I will just, okay, it's just 3 marks. I did the whole part. But the stress,
but
the pressure,
boards are different.
Exactly, the boards, the society, everything. It's just, you need to be confined to your books now. You need to just stop doing whatever you were doing, the fun things, the outings, everything you need to stop. Just stick to your books, just learn the things. And the stress is more likely to be, it can be put in the words, but we can say we are unable to interact. We are unable to do, our mind is not free actually. And it has been with the school, the education system from the day one. Day one we enter the class, we never think of the results. We never think of the fun we have or the experience we get. We always think of the results. And that too, after this, you will do this. But what about the time we have now? Right now we're staying here.
It never
but still
ends.
In our minds, in our subconscious, we're thinking about the exams.
Next exam.
Okay, we have
because
pre-boards
they never
now.
end.
Yes, they never end. We have pre-boards now. After that, we have and we're counting days. We're just, one day, we're just marking it.
Marking
okay,
it's
gone, which increases our stress level. And there's no one to support us actually. Because whenever you try to talk to a friend, kitna pada? Whenever you try to talk to your relatives, are you done with your syllabus? Is
boards?
it okay, you have
which revision
boards.
is it?
No, yeah, you have boards. Oh, इस बार तो इसका board है. मतलब हम लोगों को अच्छी खबर मिलेगी. Okay, हमारा नाम रोशन होगा. What? Yeah. Okay, we just expect good marks. We can do it. We will do it, but not for you guys, for ourselves.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. Because at the end, it's your exam, right? It's your marks sheet, not anybody else's. But a few days ago, somebody told me, what's your aim for this score? And I said around 490, let's say it. And they said, why not 500? I'm I don't know if I'll be able to do 500. That's a big, that's a really great thing to, that's a big aim, right? You know, that's a big guarantee, that's a big promise that I'll get 500. And they said that there's nothing wrong in aiming high. Because even if you don't get there, you'll land somewhere around there. Because shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars.
Wow, that's wonderful.
So I think that's the thing that we all, every one of us, should remember. That even if you think that you won't be able to get 500, just aim for it. Work hard such that in your mind you want to get 500. Now, even if you don't get 500, but you land somewhere around there, right? It will be more than if you just have a mediocre aim. So aim higher, dream big. I think that's one thing that I'd like to add here. And while we're at it, mostly there are some students who feel like once they don't achieve the score they want, they just feel so disheartened. I've seen many people who were depressed. And while it's true, the societal pressure is so great and the expectations keep piling up, but at the same time, I think we all need to realize the fact that it's not the end. It's not like that one mark sheet, a few marks that you fall short of will just stop everything. No, you still have a long way to go. There's so much you can do to prove your worth. And it's not that you become worthless by just those few marks, right?
Yes.
Falling short of just a few marks. So don't be disheartened about those things. That's something that I like to tell everyone out there. Don't worry about those things. The most important thing that I think, according to me, and that's what my mother always tells me, is hard work. So just work hard about everything. Whatever you're passionate about, work hard about it. And eventually, in the long run, you'll get your fruits, right?
So as we were talking about marks, I would like to share my bitter experience with the board exams, actually. So
Same.
I want to mention it because it happens with most of the students. In grade 8, it was our board exam, and I was completely hoping for like at least I don't remember the marks actually.
It was 600, out of 600.
600. So I was expecting 498 actually.
598.
598. 598. But when I got the results, 11 marks were deducted. And I don't know how
Same.
and why.
I'll tell you, I had 20 marks deducted. And that was like, entire world came crashing because 20 marks. How?
Nobody expected it.
Nobody
I was like,
expected it.
either Sanabil or Edhi. I mean, being overconfident is sometimes...
Like, it's not
But,
like overconfidence,
we know
but
we
it's just
could do
you
it.
know about yourself, what you written in papers, you know that, right? But at the same time, when the result is different, it's wild.
It just
So,
completely turned my lives. I was depressed.
Actually, that is the point that I keep remembering when I think about 10th boards. Like, last time this happened, what if something like this happens again? So it's
But it was
constant.
troublesome for me because I had been we can say I was facing severe anxiety due to that. I don't know why. My parents don't force me, no one forces me, but it's like my inner self. I was like, I was capable of doing better, and how did it went to this bad? And my parents didn't allow me to evaluate the papers. They said, we know how you're doing, so why do you need to just stick to the marks? But it just...
Yeah, it's for your own satisfaction that...
Yes. But now
You
I
want-
realize it wasn't worth it. Being getting the anxiety for something which you knew that you were capable of doing better, it wasn't worth it to be
Because like
Like
I said,
that depressed.
hard work mattered.
exactly. And this time I'm gonna make sure that whatever the result comes, inshallah it will be good.
Inshallah.
But we don't have to be depressed. We don't have to think about it. Just think about the
Give our
future,
best
next
and
thing, right?
think about
But
the
still,
next
it's
thing, yeah.
like a nightmare for us, both of
let's
us, of course.
let's hope for the best.
Because it was...
And best of luck to all of the 10th graders out there. Okay, so since we're talking about exams and after boards, what do you want to do after your exams? Like moving on, because after 11th, you have to take a subject, career prospects. What are your thoughts?
Firstly, it's been it's been a tough decision because we are not actually sure about what you have to do. I was completely sure that I have to go for medical, and I will take science, PCB. But the moment we had the career counseling, and after that we were meeting a lecturer, he just addressed that there are other exams like KVPY, there's an NISER, there's TIFR, and much more exams which come before NEET and
So,
JEE. Like they
at
are
a
on the
higher rank.
100th rank. If we rank them, the NEET and JEE, they're on the 100th rank. So before
Yeah.
that, we have like 100 options, 99 options. We're neglecting all of them and focusing on one thing.
We're just not aware about it. The first time I'm hearing the term these exams is from you, because that's the problem.
I too was shocked. Like, I'm hearing this for the first time, and it's the first exam. Like, it's on the first rank. How is it possible? Like, I'm hearing for the first time. And sir was like, okay, it's because of the environment we have in Kashmir. We just need to either be doctors or engineers, or else you can do nothing. You are just waste.
Everything else
So-
is like for people who
That
have done
actually-
nothing in their life. It's a very toxic mindset that people have here. Because like you said about the career counseling that we had a few days ago, I was also pretty sure that, hey, I want to be a neurologist. But the moment that we came, like those PPTs and that psychometric test and everything, that was such a big eye-opening session that I was like, I have never thought about it before. What if I have more better things to do? What if there's something that's even better for me? So that's one of the main things that students of our age go through. And I think the reason it's because we're unaware. We don't have the awareness that there's even a thing called a career counseling session. It was at our school that we got introduced to the career counseling. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure none of us would have ever thought of like having a career counseling, right? So I think that's the main thing that students our age face.
Yes, that's the whole point. And I feel like we should be now searching for other options too. We know that the area where we live in, like, it doesn't promote other like sectors, whatever it is, jobs or whatsoever your talent is. It mainly focuses on just a few things. But now, the new generation, we have to make a change, right?
Yeah.
We have access to everything. And within just one click, we can reach the heights. So we should be focusing on other parameters too. And now I have to rethink my decision first. Do I really have to do this? I mean, it's my passion, not because of the societal pressure, but still,
Yeah.
it feels sometimes, okay, this is tiring. If we
Maybe
can
there's
do
something
better,
else.
exactly.
Yeah.
Within no time, you can just apply for the universities, and your future is set, and you don't need to do anything else. So we
Yeah.
should be always
When
looking
we
for
talk
these
about
opportunities.
society and how there are some jobs, some careers that are not really into our society as of present, but I think that's where our generation comes in. We should be the ones to take the first step, because if not you, then no one. Someone has to take the first step. Someone has to go beyond the limited jobs and the limited career choices that we have. So if it's not you, then it's no one. Because at the end of the day, it's you who has to do the job, not your relatives. Again, like we said about the exams, it's not your relatives who has to do the job, do the hard work, or get the payment. It's you. So the most important thing is that you love what you do. Because if you don't, you would regret your entire life and being in a place which you just are not into. So I think that's the most important thing that we should say here about career
And
counseling.
maybe we can request you all to be just an eye-opener for someone else too.
Yeah.
And also be a part of, like, you can change the environment, the idea we have set in our minds, and we don't want our future generations or us to face the same things which our elder sisters and brothers are facing. Even after studying so hard, they're jobless right now. And that's not what we want for our future, right? So it's us who have to do it, and we will do it.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
So moving on to the next segment, we have rapid fire. Okay. So I'm going to ask you a few questions and you have to answer them. Okay. So your first question is, which teacher has influenced you the most and why?
So the answer to it is obviously Muzammil ma'am, and I was in grade
From grade 2
2
to 4. Yeah.
Yes, she was our maths teacher, and the segment she helped me in was the confidence.
Yeah. The Muslim from grade 2nd,
Sec-
4th. Yeah. Second question is, what are some of the most funniest dialogues of teachers? Okay, this one's fun.
It's I don't want to name the teachers, but it's
The dialogues.
okay. It's I know better than you.
Classic.
Okay. आप क्या कोई नवाब है?
नहीं तू क्या कोई अफलातून है? That one's better, definitely.
Your graph is declining. You're nil at the
Middle
bottom.
at the bottom. So next question is, it's pretty obvious. Event which you're looking most forward to.
Farewell.
Obviously. I hope that our teachers and
hope
juniors and
everyone
peers
takes a
notes
note
that,
on that.
we need a
I
farewell.
hope Principal Ma'am and MD sir also
The
takes
boss-
a note on that.
We need a farewell. Your last question is, who is your role model?
It's obvious, Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi
Sallallahu Alaihi
Wasallam. It's our role model. It must be a role model for everyone. We don't have to look for any other role model if we have a person like him. So yeah. It's him.
Definitely, I relate and agree. Couldn't agree more. So moving forward, our next segment is yes or no questions. There will be a bunch of questions and you'll have to say either yes or no. Okay? Here, have it.
Seems fun.
It is fun. But you got to be honest. First question is, do you like school assemblies? No
Yes.
way.
I do.
I cannot relate to that. I just don't.
I don't know why most of the students don't, but the fun you get in the morning assemblies, the choir,
Yeah, there's
the
fun,
exercises
but at
and
the
everything.
same time, it's like doing that thing every day. No, not for me. Let's move forward before I say something else. Have you ever bunked your classes? Yes, obviously.
Yes, I
You can't
have.
say no. Yeah. Have you ever caught passing homework?
Yes.
You have to do that sometimes. Have you ever accidentally called your teacher mom or dad?
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
I have.
Like-
I remember it was during online classes. I called our teacher Papa. I had to answer a question and I said Papa. And I remember I left the room, I left the Zoom meeting for like 30 minutes and I came back after 30 minutes hoping that no one heard me. I don't even know if anyone heard it. I forgot about the question. No need to answer it. I just left. I remember that's one of the most embarrassing moments, but yeah, I remember it. Have you ever done your homework for a different subject in a different class?
Yes, I have.
I have to. Many times. Many times. Have you ever been caught doing that?
No, I haven't.
In our class, almost every day someone gets caught and the notebook is thrown outside of the classroom. And you know, the worst thing is that the notebook they were copying from, even the student who had like no chance, he wasn't writing, but it was his notebook. That just gets destroyed. That's the funniest part, not from them, but for everybody else. Next question is, do you ever pretend to understand something when in reality you do not?
Yes, I do.
Same.
I pretend most of the time. Not most of the times, but sometimes you
You're
have
like,
to.
Yes. The
Right?
teacher is looking at you and you nod. You don't know what's going on. But
you
yes.
have to just be
Yeah,
like,
you
okay,
have to pretend.
I'm understanding
Yeah,
it.
I'm understanding. Okay, continue. And at that moment, you just pray. Do not ask anything because
That's the worst thing you can just expect at the time the
yeah.
teacher will ask you the question.
next question is, do you like it when the class is silent? Like completely pin drop silence.
A big no.
Not
Because there must be some kind of fun. Like, not complete silence. It doesn't match the vibe actually.
it looks lifeless almost.
Exactly. It must be lively, it must be exciting, and it must be fun. The teacher must enjoy it, not indisciplined, but fun.
But at least some kind of liveliness. Otherwise, it's like bunch of dead bodies in there. I hate it too when it's silent. Have you ever pranked your classmates?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Never?
No.
Me neither. I have been pranked. And
I've
yeah,
been
you just
pranked
said that.
a lot of times.
Have you ever dropped something really loud when the class was in complete silence?
Okay, it's a yes. I always drop my
Water
water bottle
bottles, definitely.
and the bag too. I don't know why, but it always happens.
And it's always when it's silent, it just makes so much sound. You're like,
and everyone is looking to you, towards
Yeah.
you.
It's
like,
not necessary
okay, I
to
did not
like,
do any
tell
crime.
everyone. Next question is, have you ever tried to be confidently wrong?
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
You should. No, like,
You
not
should.
really, but I have tried.
Okay.
Not tried, I do it many times because it's I like to call it that be so confidently wrong that even the one who asks the question has to rethink it. Oh,
Okay.
am I right or is this person right? Because it's just fun. Seriously. Sometimes it has happened to me many times. It's really fun. Next question is, have you ever had snacks while the teacher was teaching?
Of course, a yes. Everybody does that, right?
Have you ever been caught?
No, I haven't.
Again, I
But
have.
whenever we just think like, okay, we are going to be caught, so we just put the snacks in our backpack.
I had it
and
once.
it's done.
I don't know what I was eating. It was in my notebook and I got caught. And since it was my notebook, I could not throw it anywhere. I still remember it. I
It
not
must
like
be embarrassing.
very embarrassing, but yeah, I'd like to not talk about that. I'd like to ask you one more thing here, apart from the yes or no questions. Who do you think is the funniest person in your class?
It's Hazik and we can say Salik because both of them are just the life of our class actually. I mean, all the facade, but the way they make everything funny, any serious situation funny. So that's why we just, okay, they are the happy people. And what about your class? Who is the funniest
I'd
person?
have to say Rehan. You know, like
The
he has a
mimicry
reputation
artist.
for the mimicry artist. Some teachers just call him Amrish Puri at this point because that's just
He matched the vibe.
yeah. And
Amrish
like
Puri.
he'd just talk about anything and it would be hilarious. It's truly fun being with him. Like, seriously, sometimes even teachers laugh. That's just how funny it goes. But I think that's what adds to the liveliness of the class. Right?
Yes.
That's necessary. Those students are necessary.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's just all the questions I have for you today. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, Evie. And it has been a great experience. And I really enjoy talking with you. And I'm hoping that everyone out there is also enjoying our talk. And today we talked about many things about student life from the beginning till
Career
10th
paths.
and then career paths, and we discussed many things, and it was a very insightful talk, I'd say. And I hope that everyone out there had to at least think about some things. Maybe something we helped you in some way, or if you'd like to say something, do comment. And we hope that you'd have actually enjoyed this, and stay tuned for the next podcast. Till then, fi amanillah.